Welcome back to Brahma Newland Farm. Today we're out here, we're going to do some electric fence maintenance. We've got goats, and that's one thing about goats. The electric fence really helps. And we've got quite a bit of fence now on one charger. And what I've run into, we've got coyotes and different odd and end stuff around, and that's also another way to keep them out. But what it is, we've actually been having some fence get broke, and every now and then something will come through and it'll twist the electric fence around the barbed wire. And I'm going to show you a way that I do it to test it, and really like this way of doing it. It's when you got so much fence, if part of it's down in one spot, it may take you 30 minutes to figure out where it's down. So this is one way I'd like doing it.
So what he's gonna do is he's gonna take that wire and touch the fence and see if it's hot.
Yeah, right. Alright, what I like doing, I've got where I use these insulators like this. These are the plastic like ones. And the reason why I like them, I can just put a half-inch drive socket, ratchet in, whatever you want to call it, in a drill. And like for instance, I've got one here that's running a good stretch of fence. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna just screw that right into the post. And I've actually got these right here. I just got one. These come from TSC. They're not all that expensive, but I'll take them. And like for instance, this fence here, it's only got one strand running off of it anyways, back the other direction. But if I had one with say 3 strands here, the way I would do it, I would tie all 3 strands together, and then I'd take and I'd put one of these cutoffs in there. And the way I do it, I just take and because you're gonna have a wire coming in on 2 different sides of this. You'll have a wire coming in on 2 different sides. But I'll fasten this little cutoff to a post there, which I've got this one actually. One thing you do want to always make sure you do is unplug your fence. I know a lot of people probably think that would be crazy for me to have to say that, but you would be surprised how many times I've come out to work on a fence and forgot to unplug it.
And how many times you've tried to hop the poultry wire and forget that it's on.
That happens. That happens too, probably more often than not. But I'll take and what I'll do, I'll bend this wire. The way these little cutoffs work, you actually put your wire I'm going to loosen it up a little bit, good.
Good thing you always carry around a
Yes, I always carry my little, it's actually a little Klein wrench. And a good friend of mine, I was probably about 17, 18 years old. He used to carry one in his pocket all the time. And I thought, well, tell you what, that ain't a bad thing probably to carry. And needless to say, it wasn't long after that, I come home, or I went over to his house, I guess, one day. And when I got there, he had me that little wrench, and been carrying it ever since. And I tell you what, it sure has come in handy more times than you can count. And don't take up a whole lot of room in your pocket. So I've been carrying it now, I guess, for, I guess I've been carrying it now for close to 20 years, I guess. Normally I don't have this much trouble putting this on, but I think every time you turn that camera on, seems like it's more of a task. Normally on that wire right there, you would actually have flipped that the other way. That way when you tighten that nut up, that wire would have went back behind it. But I'll just bend that back, and that wire right there, it's the way this is designed here, this is just going to give me a break. Didn't have enough wire. I didn't have enough wire to actually take what I had here and make it work. So I'm going to take another wire. And I'm not a professional fencer by no means.
Or an electrician.
Or probably an electrician, you're right. But I'm going to take and go in here like this right here. Bend that over. Fix that again. Now, of course, depending on what size wire you use too, some of the little bit smaller gauge wire actually would be a whole lot easier in these like this. But I'll tell you what, I started using this. This is actually a 14 gauge wire, and I started using it back a couple years ago, and normally used to always just use that little thin wire. And but I started using this 14 gauge. It's a whole lot stiffer wire, and really like it. But in other words, now when I come out here to check, if I've got a fence down, realize it ain't hot, I can go, I've got a couple of these different access points like this. I can come out here, I can flip that up, and if I'm hot on the other side of it, normally what I do, I start closest to the charger, and I'll flip it. And if I'm hot on this side, on the side towards the charger, I know my fence is down on the other end, so I can just cut that back on and go to my next cutoff, and I can raise it up. And I'll tell you what, it's pretty slick whenever it comes down to needing to find a fence down. And I really like the way it works. But like I said, used to when I got ready to find a fence, had a fence down, I'd get on a four-wheeler or I'd walk or whatever, and I'd just go around looking at fences. And sometimes, like I said, it'd take me 30 to 45 minutes to even find a fence where it was tied up or where it was broke. And what actually I was using, what I did several times, I used actually a gate opener, and it made a big difference on being able to find it. But there again, I didn't really want to have the gate opener, so I went to these here. And you know, just when you open it up, you want to make sure you don't touch any of that metal where it's coming in hot, because this will be hot. But right there, like I said, I just want to share that with y'all. Anybody that's running fence or has electric fence, especially if you're just starting to run it, I really like this idea because it just gives you a little more knowledge on where your fence may be down. But anyways, if y'all ain't already, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.